Hey guys, this is Mike from the James16 group here. So I wanted to do a video on a topic that we have not touched on yet. So again, Autochartist spots a lot of things for you guys. And what I don't think a lot of people even realize early on is how many different ways you can utilize not only the breakout patterns, but the support and resistance patterns, the Fibonacci patterns. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do with what's spotted for you. So I want this video to be a little bit more generic here. It's not a trade I'm taking. It's an area I'm watching, and it's a concept that I use constantly and that we use in the group constantly. And again, not only are you going to find by utilizing your Autochartist, whether it's the MetaTrader plugin or you're using the site or the email alerts, again, you're going to find breakout patterns, but you're also going to find support and resistance areas here. So again, I pulled up the Australian yen here. And if you look on the Australian yen on the 4-hour chart, we have a resistance area here. So what is really great about these support and resistance areas that Autochartist spots is that a lot of traders have trouble finding these areas. They see support and resistance all over their charts, but they have trouble visually seeing it. So a good thing to start doing, and a concept that we've already touched on, and again, I'm going to sort of focus on it with this video, is support and resistance, but the actual flip between support and resistance. So we call that in the group a price pivot zone. So it's the pivoting of price around a support and resistance area. So if we look at the Autochartist Australian yen resistance area, it's this green line, right? But if we break down what's going on around this green line or this resistance level, we can actually gain a lot more information and utilize that in our trading, both for trading opportunities and for trade management. So we're always going to be looking towards building a story of price and what price is doing. And again, that happens on a lot of different layers here. And when you bring those layers together, whether it's for a breakout pattern, support and resistance trade, Fibonacci trade, it's what's going to really take your trading to another level here. So what I'm breaking down here, and we've already touched on a little bit, again, we're going to look at the swiveling between support and resistance. So not only is this a resistance line, but what is price telling us around that resistance line? How strong is price reacting? How clear and clean is price reacting around that level? That's something that I love to focus on. I love to look at levels, again, whether it's a breakout pattern or resistance support level, and just see how the market respects it. How much does the market love this level? So if we look here initially, look at what price is doing here. Right? Initially, price finds a little bit of resistance here. This is very early on, so we don't really have a whole lot of an idea of what's going on yet or how important this level is. But slowly, we're going to get to see that. So we have resistance, and all of a sudden, price breaks through very strong. Well, not a huge resistance level, so we might not even really look at it too much. But look what happens here. This is when the good stuff starts to happen, guys. This is when we got to start taking notice as traders. Look at all this support form, right? Look how price forms the support in this box. Prices do this constantly. They break out and they box. It's basically the only two ways the markets move. Breakout, box, breakout, consolidate, breakout, consolidate. So it's some form of that is what you're going to see in most markets at most times. Now, this is when we get to start to really utilize the concept of a price pivot zone. Again, we touched on it previously, and to go over it again here, it's the flip between support and resistance or resistance and support. It's not perfect. Sometimes it's a zone. Sometimes it's a very exact line like we're going to see here. But it's basically, if you look at your line you're looking at, let's say you have support and price breaks through, that area is very likely to act as resistance. Likewise, if price gets back above that area, it's very likely to act as support. So when you find a strong one of these, which again, you can utilize by utilizing your plugin, looking for these resistance, looking for these support areas from Autochartist, and then confirming them, you're going to find very strong areas to trade and very strong areas to understand what price is doing. So again, let's go back here and see, right? So we have our resistance turns to support in a form of a box. Look what price does. It breaks down here, and look what happens even early on. It turns to resistance. Price moves away. What does it actually do here? It finds support. Look where it finds resistance. Look at how price is boxing on top of a box here. So again, there's that concept of resistance, flips to support, flips to resistance. Okay, now we spend a long time away from here, right? But look what happens when we reapproach this area. Look what price is doing. Turns into resistance again. But look at how it turns into resistance. in the form of a box, right? So again, we have that support, turns to resistance, turns to resistance, turns to resistance. Price comes down. Look what happens now. Price is starting to get above this area. So what do we think is a good possibility to happen? There's a good possibility that this area is going to want to hold as support as price moves higher and possibly even into another box where it might find resistance at the previous box high. So really powerful stuff to start watching with your trading is combining support and resistance, side to side support and resistance, with all the types of aspects of trading that you're doing, whether it is a breakout trade. So if you watch my previous videos, you see that, again, not only am I going to search for these patterns with, the Autochartist plugin and look for the direction that Autochartist will help us with. And then we want to understand price and integrate support and resistance and price action analysis. So a really good exercise is to go through your charts, utilizing your plugin, pull up different support and resistance areas, and try to look at how price is reacting around that. Or look for an area that, maybe Autochartist spots a support area, right? And there is no flip yet. Maybe all you see is some support, price moves, finds some support again, and now we're up here. Well, there's a few things you can do, right? You can watch, okay, next time we approach this area, maybe we can look for price action here for a bounce, right? Let's start to utilize our price action bars like I've started to teach you and Jim's going to start to teach you. Or maybe price breaks down, and then you can say to yourself, well, what do I think is going to happen here? Isn't there a good chance that now when price pulls back, it turns into resistance? So you can start to mark your charts up and use these areas and keep an eye on it and really start to understand the movement of price and where price is going. So again, I'm going to do a lot of videos like this. We're going to do some really cool stuff with this. And, I just want to get some general videos out for you guys to make you start to understand what you're looking at. So that you can start to integrate this into your trading with Autochartist and with what we do here. So again, look forward to doing more of these, and we'll see you soon.